Hello, guys. Brandon Carey here, and joining me as always is my friend Matthias.
Hello, all.
And the mind games continue with Prey 2017. Believe. No, this is campaign 2 we're looking at here.
I actually also played the other Prey game, and I would say that this is definitely the best of the two.
That's almost unfair because of how old that first Prey game is.
True.
And how different it is, like a whole different genre, almost.
Yeah, but I have to. It did had a few interesting things. The portals, big and small, gravity stuff. You know, it had some interesting stuff, but it's true. It's a bit too old to actually compare.
So, we last left off. Chief Ilyushin and Dr. Igwe, Michaela and Igwe, went to our office because we saved their asses. And there's no other safe place in the space station right now aside from our office.
Mm-hmm.
And hi, telepath.
Oh. It's getting mighty crowdy in the station right now.
Cue the music. Oh, there's 2 telepaths here. Where are my powers? Psi nullified. Okay, I need to give it a few minutes. Where's my Psychoshock? Two telepaths in the room is, that's bad, even in this situation, because, like, that's just a lot of damage coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the second one go? Thank God I didn't have the Q-beam him, or else he would get off his green health. Oh, here you are. Down you go. Well, let's pop a Psi-Hypo after that. I think I have a lot of these things. Now, where is the lootable part of your corpse?
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
Black tentacles everywhere, but which one do you need?
Oh, that's alright. We got the other part of it, which is more than fine. Also, you notice the coral is again spreading even farther into the space station now. Good God. And let's go back to our office to talk with the people we have recently rescued. Thank God there's not a nightmare here yet, because that would have been bad. I actually have had a time. I've actually had a moment. I think I talked about this last week when the nightmare actually like followed me into my office with Chief Ilyushin and Dr. Igwe in the office.
Tell me again how the decompression happened.
It was very sudden.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
the
never seen them
specifics,
go
but I had to
the
act
office,
quickly.
so
Decompression occurred due to a detonation in the cargo bay.
that was quite surprising.
And let us once again lower the speech volume just a bit.
January, I asked Dr. Igwe.
I don't know.
Morgan, hope you don't mind. I was using your workstation.
I found the right materials for the glue gun as well. Was able to make several canisters.
I also found some food on the way up. Left it on the desk.
Are they
Don't worry, they're
competing
alien
for my
proof.
affection
I
right
checked them,
now?
no twitching. To be sure, I let Igwe sample them first.
Pardon me?
I'm joking, Igwe. I wouldn't willingly expose you to aliens. Or anyone else. That would be inhuman.
Wow, they're competing for my affection right now.
More.
That is interesting. I made glue gun canisters. Well, I found food. Well, I made a weapon kit. Well, I made a chipset for you.
Maybe a bit of a... No. I wanted to say Stockholm Syndrome, but that's not it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in like a dangerous situation, you start to like bond
with the
people
people
you're in.
who are with you, yeah.
And since you're like, quote unquote, the savior here, Wait, I think you just threw all your glue guns in there.
I have one left.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I always make sure the one I have equipped is not in there.
Yeah, I totally looked over that one. But yeah, that definitely happens a few times to me.
Oh yeah, I've done
Where
it.
you've got 5 wrenches, you throw them all in, and then, oh shit.
Yeah. I throw in some of these, like, excess disruptors, recyclers, and null waves. Actually, I'm just gonna throw in the rest of the null waves. I've never actually used the null wave or the null wave or the Typhon lures. I tend to just use recyclers because I have so many powers.
I've probably used each of them maybe once. Twice. I think I have used a Typhon lure and then waited for them to gather and then threw a recycler.
Yeah, okay, that is smart. Yeah, I'm not saying they're bad tools. I'm saying I never made use of them.
But
yeah.
I mean, they definitely have their uses. But yeah, I think it's like most of this. Everything isn't required. It's
Yeah.
just a tool you can use if you
I'm
want to.
trying to see what I can access from here, but most of the systems are locked down.
I never told you why I altered my medical records. I know you were so sure when you were lecturing me, Morgan, saying I was selfish and... My father, he was imprisoned
Are we
for
getting the
questioning
quest
the
yet?
Soviet...
Because she doesn't have a quest. I don't know if she
intervention
gives it to us an hour later.
Many prisoners are lost in Siberian labor camps.
No idea.
But my father vanished. The only thing I knew for certain was TranStar was recruiting volunteers from those labor
Volunteers in quotes.
camps. I came here because of you and Alex. And your
That's
experiments.
very important to know.
He was sent here. I'm sure of it. The work in the Neuromod division in psychotronics. I was hoping to gain access, but there was no way in. Nothing to trace the volunteers who come and go. TranStar is very... thorough. I know you have forgotten things, but if you find some evidence of my father, it would set my mind at peace.
I've always felt that consciousness
Morgan.
is
Yes,
more
we
like
do get the. Oh no,
music
that's.
than computation.
Oh, that's not the quest I wanted to see update. We don't get the Michaela quest yet. That's a shame.
I have more autonomy than a typical operator. The contents of the video are sensitive. Only a flesh and blood person could handle the responsibility.
I'm not
I know
entirely
it.
sure which one you mean
He
again,
always
but
has a
I'll
backup
guess
plan.
we'll talk about it
He
when we
must.
get there.
Oh, it's the one where you can give her information about her father.
Oh, right.
I wish I could make my way to my quarters. I have some personal effects I'd rather not leave behind.
I know Igwe has a quest too with the musical
Morgan.
guy.
Yes,
this a joke?
yes.
But yeah, they're right here, and as like it's unique because in these kinds of games you typically don't see
Morgan?
physical humans. So like the fact that they're just like two people who are on your side just right here, that is actually like pretty rare for one of these types of games. Like in System Shock 2, for example, you never actually see a living human being in the entire game. You see the audio logs and like proof that they were once there, but you don't actually see them. Let me remind yourself what my objectives are. Oh, yeah, we go to the Arborium and get Alex's arming key. We're about to go into the end game. Go from Act 2 to Act 3. Because now we have our arming key, and we've given ourselves full access to the system due to the reset. Alex is willing to give us our key. Uh-oh, we're about to get ambushed, I think. Because that does happen sometimes when you're in the elevator. You get ambushed by Typhon.
Yep.
Oh, he had a weapon. He had a weapon kit on him. That's. Thank you. Thank you for that. Phantom, I could use that. I could also use a suit repair kit right now. Where are they? And Q-beam's upgraded, disruptor's upgraded, shotgun's upgraded. Oh, that's... I really don't need... Actually, I'd never update the goo gun. I guess I'll just upgrade the pistol. Give it the rest of its firepower upgrades. Don't we have any use for these aside? Like, I rarely focus on upgrading range at this point. I have max handling and damage, which is really the stuff I'm looking for. I'm looking to, like, because that conserves ammo overall.
True. True.
More damage and more accuracy does make ammo a little less scarce.
And hopefully less damage taken.
Yeah. Now, we were a stone's throw away from getting Alex's arming key. Surely nothing bad will happen.
Surely.
I'm sure, like, we will just get the arming key, finish the game. We'll be done in 10 minutes, I'm sure. Nothing bad could happen. Oh, hi, Weavers.
I'm sending you the code to my grav shaft, assuming it still works.
We already hacked the grav shaft.
That is correct. We have a code for a device you've already hacked open.
I'm quite sure that on my first playthrough I made my way up there by climbing the fake mountain.
Oh! I guess you could do that, yeah.
And then you also get to an area where you can definitely see that the sort of rocks are... they're not real, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like fake, and then there's even like some ammo there, I think, a storage chest and another dead body.
Oh yeah, I remember that spot you're talking about.
Because I didn't have hacking. Yeah, I think you need hacking 4 to get up there.
You do.
Which you definitely don't have in the early game.
Unless you're me and you put all your points into hacking almost to start off
Okay.
with.
Dr. Igwe,
Yeah, I
Are you
usually
approaching the
balance
facilities?
between like health,
If so,
damage,
this is
and
a
then there's a
sentimental
lot of
request,
utility in this.
my collection, the
Between
gallery
hacking,
photos the
leverage,
others
and all
used
of
to
the
laugh
stuff,
at.
so...
Each picture is a decryption key to a set of neural data, connectomes, the guests who came to the station. Among them, Leitner, the pianist, is
He said
dead
penis.
now. We can't let those skills be lost. It's all that's left of them. Please. I would be grateful. I'm sending you an audio file that will open this safe. Let's grind.
Actually, I think, yeah, if you have, like, the super jump abilities, you can just
concerns to
platform up tier
security at
as well.
transstar.talos.
Probably.
Where did that Weaver go? There it is.
Yeah, that's also one interesting thing about the coral. It sorta camouflages the weavers.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense if you think that the weavers made the coral, that they sorta look like it. Just jetpacking in with a shotgun, that's... yeah.
It's not doing any freaking damage. Oh, I see. He puts up that's a shield that he puts up first. Okay. There we go. Just use psychic powers at some point. It's easier.
If you have them, might as well use them.
And since Igwe did ask politely, and he is part of our party at this point, we might as well humor him a little. first off, I'm sick of getting shocked by this thing, so we're gonna fix it up a little bit. And thank you, Sliptails, letting me know if Overtake Phantom is nearby. I appreciate it.
Slap some flex tape on it and keep going.
Yep. Voltaic Phantom. Is he coming up the stairs? Nope. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Dr. Igwe requested that we go to his room and his quarters. And, retrieve a couple of files for him that he has a personal investment in.
Bit weird that he would have, you know, a copy of the famous pianist's Connectrum or whatever it's called in his room,
Yeah.
but, you know, okay.
I think the idea is, like, that pianist is how he met his wife, and he has, like, there's a personal, like, attachment to that particular pianist's songs.
You said penis, but yeah, I think if you go through his emails or stuff like that, you found out that he is like a massive fan.
Yeah, like, he's a fanboy of this particular artist.
Yeah, definitely.
Named enemies. I love it. Also, as you'll notice, areas in this game don't stay clear permanently. They do eventually get their enemies spawning back in, so you're never actually safe in Talos 1.
Yep.
Which is an important part of this game, is the fact that no matter where you go, you're always going somewhere at a risk.
Another one of the reasons why they give you a way to create ammo, because
Yeah.
technically you'll always need it.
Thankfully, right now we are at a I mean, we've always been at a point, but like even now, like we are at a point where we have more resources than we really know what to do with. So dumping a few pistol rounds or shotgun rounds into Army of Phantoms really isn't going to hurt us that much in the long run, because I have plenty of craft materials to make more shotgun ammo if I ever need it, truly need it.
Yeah, the Phantoms and the Mimics are like trivial at this point. Like some bigger enemies, like, you know, Technopaths and Weavers, Weavers maybe a little less, but definitely Telepaths and stuff, they still pose a risk at this point.
I'm pretty sure he said... Okay, yeah, that does open the safe. Perfect. And we get some Sci-Hopos out of that, too.
The lock was keyed to the first concerto Leitner played.
Don't forget the Neuromod,
the first
very,
time Maya
very
heard him.
important.
Yeah.
Not on this run, but,
Both.
you know.
I felt small in the light of his skill. I can play it now too, thanks to a neuromod. But only in
It's
my
still
head.
like weird to play a game where you can just, you know,
I
loot skill
copied
points.
their
Yeah.
neuroscans and hid the data
And
on
even
my
create them
transcribe.
yourself if you really wanted to.
Fabricated my own mods.
That...
I'm not proud of the act. Now, I'm glad I did.
They do that in System Shock as well. Like System Shock 2, the XP points were cybernetic modules, which you would get after like beating quests, and you just be able to find in the world. So like that is directly taken from the game. Like that inspired this. Like there is a lot of System Shock in this game.
Yeah, I've never actually played System Shock, so to me those things are sort of lost. the
Assuming
references.
that you're okay with playing like a games that are pretty old, it's worth it. And like
Yeah,
I said, that is a major caveat, because that game, like, you have to rebind it, because they didn't have WASD at the time. Like I had to rebind WASD onto my keyboard to make that work. Like, I spend like a good like 10 minutes just getting the controls right before I can even start playing the game. That's how old. System Shock 2, Kelly, but System Shock 1 has an even worse example. Oh, hi, Nightmare.
Yeah,
The Nightmare has found me. So we're going to be chilling for a few minutes, I guess.
also because half my country is French. I don't use a QWERTY keyboard. I got an AZERTY keyboard, so I'm messing with keybinds. I'm
Oh, so you're
to
used
it.
to that at that point then. Never mind.
Definitely. I sometimes do small threads on Twitter when there's a new like AAA game coming out and it just messes up with keybinds so bad. And I don't mean the default ones. Like defaults being messed up for me, that's normal. But when they don't allow you to rebind some stuff, yeah, that gets shitty.
So we'll come back to give that to Dr. Igwe at some point, but since we're already in the area, we're gonna go pay Alex a visit as part of the main quest now, because that was only a small detour.
Sure.
I'm gonna see if we can. I wonder if I don't want to wait 2 minutes, but I also really don't want to fight this Nightmare. Not because I can't kill it, but because it's just a waste of resources. Ah, fuck it.
Yeah, and he's also...
I don't feel like waiting.
It's also not that interesting to fight him because he's just a bullet sponge.
Yeah! I mean... You just
Like,
saw! I just stun-locked
Yeah.
him to death!
Other enemies at least have like different attacks and interesting things, but the Nightmare is...
It's just a big ball of goo that gets you a lot of, like, exotic material to... Like, it's not a threat, which is why, like, the punishment of he spawns more often is barely a punishment at all when you have, like, psychic powers.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I won't be joining you. Don't worry, there's no trick. Just a gift from your big brother. It's the truth, like I promised. It took me a while to dig it up. Someone wanted to hide it from you. My computer, another video. Give it a look and we'll talk. I'm sending you the password, assuming you haven't hacked your way in yet.
I like that they acknowledge the possibility that you could have just hacked this computer already. Looking Glass, of course. Loading in the
My
file.
name is Morgan Yu. Year is 2035. I'm aboard the Talos 1 research facility. What else?
Why are we making this video?
Right. Because my big brother is paranoid. Psychometric data is showing statistically significant variance in personality patterns between trial runs of the new neuromods. Whatever. I feel more like myself than ever. I mean, look at this. We did it, Alex. It's real.
Enjoy it while you can, because in a few minutes, it'll all be gone. Let me strip out the neuromods and reset.
I know, including my memory of it.
No way around it. Let's talk about the backup.
So, the Typhon organisms have been producing an elaborate structure.
And this is a very important video
Materials
too.
unknown, purpose unknown. My gut tells me it's kind of a neural framework, but externalized. Still waiting on analysis to confirm. In the meantime, I've given Alex the design for a device I think could shut it down, if it ever broke containment. Alex just has to grow a pair and commit.
You don't have to take all the credit. What if it doesn't work?
It'll work. Trust me. What else are we going to do? Blow everything up? That won't save us.
And if it does work, is it worth it?
The people that come after us will be smarter, stronger, immortal. They can judge us if they want. But they'll know they exist because of the things we did. I'm ready. Do it.
So that is another incarnation of Morgan Yu.
Well, there you have it.
And a very
Everything
interesting
I've done
one.
is what you've asked me to do. I didn't think you'd believe me unless you heard it from your own mouth. tests. They changed you. Not a lot at first, but eventually, the constant stripping of your memory. I didn't know who you were anymore. All I want is to have my sister back so we can finish what we started. The device you mentioned, it's an advanced version of the Null Wave. It's the only way to stop the Typhon without destroying everything we've been working toward. We're just missing some scan data from the Coral to complete the design. Help me finish this, Morgan. And then, you can have my arming key. I don't believe you want to use it anymore, but you can have it. I left the chip set for you on my desk. You'll need to upgrade your psychoscope to scan the Coral. I'll send you the scan locations.
All right. So that is basically Alex's gambit is, well, not really gambit, but it's kind of like the context you need to understand what he's been doing throughout the course of the game. Because all he's been doing is something that another version of us believes is the right thing to do. From prior to the memory wipes.
Mm-hmm. And so instead of playing this entire time feeling like Alex is the one pulling the strings, now it's sort of
it feels
us?
like Morgan versus Morgan versus Morgan. But which
Definitely.
Morgan is the best and most correct Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out we are our own worst enemy several times over.
And now you can even go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You do your first.
Oh, I was just gonna say that even now, then you can sort of, because of the January and December thing, you can also sort of go into double bluff and triple bluff situations where
Yes.
what if the Morgan we just saw wasn't the original realist Morgan, but Alex just thought that one was the one he liked the most, so he made the video to make you believe that is the quote-unquote correct Morgan, and then you just lose everything, because then you have nothing to fall back to.
Yeah.
Everything can be real
That
or
video
fake or
was-
whatever what you want to
I'm
make of it.
still checking it against my directives. But if scanning the Coral will grant you access to Alex's arming key, then perhaps it's the best course. Perhaps knowing the Coral's purpose will reinforce your decision to destroy Talos 1.
So it's
Just be
basically
careful.
multiple
Running out of
people
time.
trying to enact Morgan's will, but they're all doing it in different ways because Morgan had different personalities at different points in time.
Yes.
And that is such an interesting question to ask the player, because the player is the one's going to ultimately have to answer which Morgan does the player think is the one that is the most correct, or is the most closest aligned to their beliefs. We're gonna scan the Coral, but of course we're gonna take a detour back to Igwe, both to drop off the quest and to craft some more shotgun ammo. It should be relatively safe since we did clear this out fairly recently. Ah, it's a Weaver. I'm just gonna ignore it. It's not worth my time.
Yeah, I don't remember or ever looked into it how the respawning works. Is it like quest related, time related, just
Yeah.
moving far enough away? No idea.
Though to be honest, at some point you just kind of stop worrying about it and just start like darting
Why
and weaving.
Russia? Why Russian volunteers?
Yeah,
Well,
especially
the
once you
Russian
start to
penal
realize
system
where
is
you have to
quite
go, you can just
unforgiving.
run past a lot of the
Their
stuff if
alliance
you
with
really
the
don't have to
Transtite
kill it.
interest
Yeah.
Economically
Another times, you
coincided.
just
It was
kill
Catherine's
everything because
idea.
you need the
Their
material
mother
or whatever.
and Alex saw the advantages.
It's all good.
So, they were murdered because of political convenience and cost savings?
The term murder I would dispute, but I do not wish to lie to you. These two factors made them good candidates for the research development here. It is far easier to persuade a man to volunteer for experimental trials when his other prospects include capital punishment or life in prison.
I would dispute the term volunteer, Doctor. Morgan.
It's very interesting that the game chooses these two characters to be the ones to save because they have such diametrically opposing views of what we're even doing here, or whether it's a good or a bad thing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Igwe
Any
and
luck finding a way off the station?
Michaela. I can hand you your quest reward, I guess.
Thank you. It's a strange feeling. I hold Leitner's gift to the world in my hands.
And then the interesting thing is that the
Will
characters
live on.
themselves, you know, they aren't
I
black
wish my
versus
wife
white. They're
could have
both
heard
just
him
different
play
types of
again.
grey as well.
Yeah.
Since
That
they're
was
both,
brave of
you know,
to recover the connectomes
you've got
for me.
Michaela who lied about
I-
her paraplexia and stuff, and
I
then
appreciate it.
we just went
I
and
appreciate
got something
all you
that
and Transtar
Igwe
have
probably
done for
shouldn't
me.
have had in his room as well. So
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over Igwe talking. Can you repeat what you just said? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, I have the stream muted, so I don't really know exactly when who's talking and stuff. But anyway,
That's perfectly fair.
I'll look for
I
more.
just want
haven't
I
had
just
good
said that
success in
they're both
calling up more
also like
fabrication
grey
plans,
characters.
But I
They're
did
not
have a design
good. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Like fully them as well. Like Igwe had that connectrome or whatever in his room that he probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have, and Michaela had the paraplexia that she lied about. So they're both definitely not 100% in one camp or good or bad. And then the other
Yeah.
one's also fighting over.
I think the motives in there do actually play a very important like part in distinguishing them because, like Igwe's motivation is purely because like he was laughed out of academia because people didn't believe his theories about the mind and how it could have like how you could have like psychic powers more or less, and you know he was proven correct ultimately. But Michaela is only here because her father was killed by Transtar and she wants to know why. Otherwise, she would have no interest in even being part of this project.
True.
And so for like Igwe, the neuromods are the kind of thing that even if he doesn't believe are ethical, he kind of has to support them because his career is essentially on the line. Like if neuromods pan out, he doesn't pan out, and he has nothing to fall back on. This is his only chance of even salvaging his career prospects.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's also why they hired him, because they know that basically at any costs, he would continue the program.
Yeah, even
Yes,
if it cost him his life, because he has no life to fall back on.
Basically, yeah.
Whereas Michaela, like, her life was arguably ruined by Transtar because her father was kidnapped by them. I mean, Igwe tries to dress it up because he has to just to sleep at night. But
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, you could say, like, why do you call them volunteers? They're clearly not volunteers.
he has
you know,
to
if-
because otherwise he can't sleep at night because he has no choice but to keep going.
Yes, like everyone who's working on that has to sort of switch that button in their head, like, okay, these people had a choice to basically die.
Yeah, when Michaela points out rightfully so that, like, choosing to either maybe not die in an experiment or definitely certainly die in a prison camp. It's not really a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you're picking the option that's less shitty between the two. But neither one of them is something that would volunteer for in a normal circumstance.
Yeah, they've already pulled the short straw.
Yeah.
Whatever happens then is just like, ugh. They're all, yeah,
And it
they're
just
basically already
shows you
dead
the
at that
different,
point.
like, kind of almost like without realizing it, the different ways in which Transcar has kind of screwed these people.
I've been thinking about the video, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Showed you. Your brother believes that version of you is the true Morgan. But why? Just because it came first? If someone had made you, then I suppose your truest self would be the one that fulfills whatever purpose your maker intended. I know who made me, and why. Did someone make you, Morgan? Were you made for something? If not, you'll have to invent your own purpose. Or have none at all. Strangely, of all the things I know about you, I don't know what you believe. You have to decide, Morgan. Who are you?
That's an interesting philosophical question that January poses in that dialogue too. Of, well, I am a robot whose existence is solely created because a version of you in the past thought that destroying the space station would be the best course of action. Whereas, like, Morgan Yu, we get to choose, like, because we're a person, we get to choose what, if any, purpose we have.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of also incorrect to assume that the Morgan Yu that Alex knows is the correct quote-unquote Morgan Yu, assuming that's even a term that can possibly be used anymore, because Morgan Yu has been so thoroughly changed by these experiments that, like, it's... I don't know if there isn't even a true self to fall back on.
There's been a launch from the Argus.
Yeah, one of the things you could say is that just whatever Morgan is at this time is the correct one, no matter what happened in the past.
Yeah. Like,
But-
is there even such a thing as a true Morgan Yu aside from the one that is currently Morgan Yu?
Yeah, even if she is completely different than the ones that she used to be.
That's why it's important we act quickly, decisively.
Lots of questions in this game.
They'll try to take this out of
Interesting
our hands.
ones, though.
Morgan,
I am so glad I have psychic powers because it makes dealing with these a lot easier.
Yeah, doing a no Typhon run, it definitely makes it feel at a lot of times like you're handicapping yourself.
Yeah,
Like when you're fighting robot enemies, you just have the disruptor gun and that's basically it. When you're trying to go through inside the security booth, you are able to mimic in if you had the power, but you don't.
it does definitely like really it changed your relationship with the obstacles in your path when you have the powers to just kind of move around as you see fit.
Mm-hmm. It definitely feels like you're almost cheating in a way,
Yeah.
but that it's meant to be like that, of course.
Get my disruptor gun out because I feel like I'm gonna need it in a second. Oh, fuck a duck. God, I'm getting so sick of these weavers already. They aren't even particularly dangerous. They're just annoying.
That's how I feel about cystoids and cystoid nests. They're not really dangerous, but just they take so long to deal with if they don't want to cooperate.
2 weavers. Good lord. And I think that takes care of them. Let's find this coral node. There we go.
fascinating. It's holding the psyche of all their victims. Your hunch was on the right track. It's a kind of neural structure. Synaptic-like the length of it like it's communicating. Just one more to go. Knew you could handle this. Our father warned me not to stake so much of the company's future on your ideas. I was right to ignore him. We're a good team.
So yeah, there's an interesting fact. The Weaver, the Quarrel is made up of the psyches of all the people whose minds have been stolen by the Weavers. Here's the other node.
So it's definitely not a coincidence that we can use neuromods to change the way our mind works,
Yes.
since they are able to interact with it out of their own.
Excellent work.
Another interesting
Integrating
flashback.
the data after you upload it. Hard to tell from just a scan summary, but wait, what is? There's some kind of neural tripwire built into the coral. Christ, Morgan, get back to my office. We have to get your data uploaded now. Hurry.
Let's head back to the office then and see what Alex has to say. But yeah, obviously, if the Coral can connect to human minds, and human minds can in turn connect to the Typhon and what they can do, it's not too illogical of an assumption or a hypothesis to test. And clearly, Morgan was right about being able to map Typhon powers onto human minds, because it appears the Typhons are basically created from human minds, more or less. Another cystoid nest? Definitely probably the most irritating thing about the late game is that the further you go on, the more Typhon just kind of just keep spawning in.
Yeah,
Which makes it hard to kind of travel the way you'd want to. And that gets even more difficult later on when we start getting other threats added on top of that. Though I won't speak anything more because of late game spoilers, at least for now.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also suggest when you're going through it the first time, like just explore as much as you can when you first enter an area, because going back later it's totally doable, but you're just gonna have to fight everything all over again and possibly even more and stronger enemies,
Yeah.
and it sort of becomes a hassle sometimes, sadly.
Exactly.
But
Like
it is understandable.
Okay,
I
this is a
feel.
good engineering operator. Good boy operator.
Not used to seeing friendlies.
Yeah. Actually, though.
And even if you accidentally shoot it, you can just loot it for valuable stuff, so it's like there's no
Yeah.
downside.
Yeah. Rooftop. Okay. Coral data management. Uploading the Coral data. Uh-oh.
Morgan, transfers hold it. Something or someone. Shit.
This is Commander Walter Dahl.
Hi, Steve Blum.
Board of
Been a while.
Directors has authorized me to take full command of Talos 1, effective immediately. All employees must now report to the shuttle bay for evacuation. Those of you unable to comply, transmit an SOS and my team of rescue operators will locate you. One last thing. Alex and Morgan Yu have been relieved of their positions. Do not consent to their requests or assist them in any way. Dahl out.
Military operators.
Oh, this is like peak capitalism at this point.
It really is.
It's like the board of directors has taken control.
This is when you go full Green Goblin for Spider-Man 1.
We're locked out. Please, Dahl. He already has his hooks access into every major system aboard Talos 1. I have to admit, I'm disappointed with our parents. I knew that they had a contingency in place, but a small foolish part of me believed they wouldn't use him against their own flesh and blood. Regardless, we're not getting this coral data through until we do something about it. I don't like it, but you're gonna have to get into his command shuttle. See if you can locate his access point and cut him off.
So yeah, now we have a new threat. Military-grade operators.
And the fun part is, they spawn from every freaking operator dispenser.
Yeah, and they spawn infinitely, so like fighting them is pretty much pointless.
Yep.
You're just better off running away. On the bright side, I think they don't spawn a lot of Typhon in those areas because I believe the assumption that the military operators are killing them off as well.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So for now, we're gonna keep this up. The Disruptor Gun's actually a really good weapon to have right now at this moment in time.
All will know you're coming.
Yes,
All TranStar personnel
definitely.
are outfitted with tracking bracelets. I have no doubt his operators are already on their way to rescue you. Those bracelets are issued and removed in deep storage. Worth investigating if you want to fly under the radar.
That's actually a good idea. So we're actually do that side quest, I think.
Morgan, I heard the announcement. No, I will not give you up. You are there for me. I am here for you. If you'd indulge me, I have a proposal that could get us off Talos 1 without any more bloodshed. Just don't harm Dahl until we've had a chance to speak in person.
So we're gonna actually start indulging in some of these character quests because they're actually pretty important for how we go with how we do the end game. First off, January suggested that we go into deep storage to disarm our tracking bracelet, which is actually a fairly smart idea, and I am going to do that. And I'm not sure what that does. I assume it reduces, like, just makes it so that the operators have a harder time finding you.
That would be the logical thing. But I also don't know what it actually does, but
Yeah.
it sounds useful. So
Exactly. That's more or less my thoughts on that. So, and there's Alex trying to mollify the rest of the crew. Oh god, that probably doesn't go over very well. Because as we said before, Alex is kind of like, he very much lacks charisma. As a character, he's not very charismatic.
Your brother, he likes
yeah, we're that part of the team.
He can't resist. Even though he's hiding, and you are running around like a nervous rat.
Well, you know, the team of before everything went to shit.
Yeah.
The wires and shitting in the walls. Are you trying to fix the mess you've made, or just get away? I pride myself in being prepared for the worst, but this is truly a masterpiece. You should be proud.
And since we're at a point where, like, exploring is kind of just putting us in more danger than it is like, giving us resources, we're probably going to start, like, just bolting wherever we can, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What is it? Objective. I don't see the objective air tracking bracelet.
I remember being in a really small room, but I can't remember if it was for this quest or another.
This is deep storage, right?
Yeah.
It says objective air tracking bracelet in deep storage.
I think there
I need
was
to
a
find the
PC.
personnel tracking workstation to my ID number 09. I love that Morgan already knows his ID number. Like, we don't have to research it. He just has it or they just have it in their mind. That's nice. But I don't know where the personnel tracking terminal is here in deep storage. We have the recipe for... Oh, hi, Mimic. Stop bothering me, please. I'm busy. Do I have the recipe? Who sees me? Seriously. Oh. There you are. Alright. Trying to craft disruptor ammo. You're kind of ruining my groove. Do I even have the recipe is what I'm trying to check for right now. Oh, damn, I don't see it. I don't see the recipe for crafting ammo for my disruptor gun. Oh, that sucks. We'll make do. Well, this is a bust.
Dr. Yu? Morgan? Oh, man. Thank God. I've just been going down the contact list hoping somebody would answer. I'm in Trauma Center. I came up here to look for supplies. I think I broke my arm when that blackout happened. Now I'm trapped. Aliens outside the door. I could really use some help, man.
So as you just saw, military operators, basically pretty much every single operator terminal in the entire station is manufacturing military operators at this point. And there is, like, we can block them, but we can't shut them down. So they're just gonna keep going probably for like until we deal with Dahl.
Yep. I mean, as a contingency plan, that is really, really smart. Just hijacking all of those things and create your army on board.
Yeah.
But for us, it's just really annoying.
Does the workstation objective actually show up now? Hopefully it does. Because I actually do want to get this objective complete. If it's showing up now, then we will absolutely do it. Apologies to the viewers for me kind of fumbling around for a bit.
I mean, that's what's supposed to happen at this point, because everything is just hectic.
Yeah. Well, this is the part where that really kind of tests your familiarity with Talos 1.
Definitely.
Because you don't know where things are, it becomes a real problem.
Yeah, you really can't dilly-daddle, let's call it that.
Yeah. You definitely have to keep moving no matter what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can hack this. There's probably stuff here. Are you munching on something?
Usually. Yes? Is it too loud?
No, I heard it, but, it's not a big deal. Alright, and what is in here? This I think this is probably where Michaela's quest line happens.
Yeah, I remember being here for some reason, probably Michaela's questline.
Welcome to the stream, Matty Monopoly. Wait, Is that disruptor stun gun, not ammo? Okay, that's a bummer. Not what I wanted. This is Show's office. He's tracking bracelet protocol. Okay, here it is. It is here. My ID is 0913. Deactivate. This cannot be undone. And now he can't track us anymore.
Clever Labrat. Now I can't see you. Your brother won't be so lucky. I'm closing in on you.
Yeah, Maddie, you play a big section of this game without actually meeting any alive people. So...
Yeah, you do like we've talked about this earlier in the stream. You do eventually start meeting like human beings in the space station. Like you are like there's definitely that isolation at the beginning of the game is on purpose because you're supposed to be like kind of slowly exposed to the horrors of what's going on here in Talos 1.
Inspecting. I mean, your integrity is compromised.
But as you go on, you definitely start like as the station becomes more familiar is probably a good way of phrasing that. You start to see there are other survivors in the space station, and you start to like being able to interact with them. And that's for a game of this type, like a Shock game, that's actually fairly unique because System Shock 2 doesn't do that. Like there are no survivors in that game. It's very interesting. And now we have to deal with Dull.
Dull.
Yep. Let's go into the lobby. And this is the part where basically we are approaching the end game, and we're just setting up mostly for what the actual end game ends up being. So his command shuttle is right here. Except, oh, it's right here. There to be more. Oh yeah, we can do we can talk to Luther Glass here. This is a fun little side activity. It doesn't take that long. We can do that. Cause we got the warning from him to talk to help him out here. And this is a funny little thing because obviously like
right
at this point, if you're paying attention, you should be aware of what's about to happen, but obviously,
is that you?
Please stand clear of
it's a trap. It's obviously a trap.
What do you mean you're going into an enclosed space? It's never a trap.
Thankfully, psychic powers can take care of like literally mobs of operators with relative ease.
requesting. Dash CN9 Black Box operator ready to deploy. Please stand clear of aperture.
So yeah, like if you're paying attention, you should know better than to like trigger that kind of trap, but it's still funny to like, oh yeah, Dahl is not completely like he is trying to kill you. He's trying to ambush you, and if you're not at the top of your game, you can easily fall for a trap like that if you're not paying attention, or just doing the me thing and just trying to clear out the quest list.
Yeah, that is something interesting that does happen in a lot of games when you're sort of a completionist, where you know something is a trap, but I have the quest, so I gotta do it.
Like with the cook earlier, the cook in the
Yes,
Let's Play,
exactly.
which I still have to kill at some point to make Danielle happy. I keep forgetting to go back there and kill him. I'll do it next time I'm near the crew quarters. Which won't be
Right before the end of the game, just a quick drive-by.
Yeah. So we can be sneaky here, and we really should be.
And here we are in yet an entire new area.
Yeah. This is the docking bay. And here you can also see that the Typhon and the military operators are kind of at like a little war right now.
Stand clear of aperture.
So we kind of have to avoid both parties to avoid getting caught in that crossfire, because both parties also want us dead. Can't open this. Trying to avoid going the straight through. There has to be a back door.
I remember going all the way through the left or something, but I can't remember how. But yeah, specifics like this, they're really far away in my memory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but if you're seeing the mimic ability, like when Brandon's using it, and you're thinking of, hey, that reminds me of Prop Hunt, they did release basically their own version of Prop Hunt.
Oh, I
called
forgot
Titan
about
Ogre.
that. You're right.
I've never played it, but they did just went ahead and sort of did the obvious with that, which is really fun.
So I think I just broke. I think the best way to do it is to break the glass and just crawl this way. Surprised I didn't hear that, but you know, I'm not gonna say no to good luck.
Morgan, I've been thinking about what you've done, what you're doing. We all must act according to our nature, no matter what the psychologists and priests say. And your nature, I think I was right before. You are like a rat, resourceful, sly, burdened with a kind of pestilence of the mind.
Alright, we're gonna hack one of these military operators. I need some backup. That's a good thing about, like, shutting down corrupt things, that you can hack them to make them do what you want them to do. Which in this case is attack anybody that's not me.
And soak some damage.
And the experiment was a failure. And, of course, sadly, you know what happens to the rats when they are no longer.
Love you.
Thank you. But yes, there is Wall doing his little speech about, oh yeah, I'm better than you, nah, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. You know, the usual villain stuff. Nothing too fancy. He's not a particularly interesting character. Like, he's more interesting for, like, what his role is than who he is as a person.
Yes. Because it's also a bit like, oh yeah, you might be the son and daughter, but you know, I'm the one they sent to kill you guys. I'm better than you.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so... Not sure how to get in now that I'm up here.
I think we
Go
have
away.
to put the shuttle in place first.
Oh, maybe.
Because it's not connected to anything. I suspect it might open up if you connect it to a walkway or something like that. Because I was thinking
I
about...
definitely remember like opening a rooftop hatch and getting in that way, but I could be mistaken.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's probably multiple ways, you know, like almost anything in this game.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that when you entered here. They took the entire craft into the artificial gravity instead of just leaving it outside and connecting it with a boardwalk.
Yeah.
And I guess this is more fancy, like showing off, and that is TranStar as well, so that might be the reason, but it still feels weird to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, it's definitely safer because whatever happens to the aircraft, spacecraft, not aircraft, it's in an atmosphere now. Like, you can't blow a hole in it by making a small puncture, etc. But you know,
Those hoppers are fucking annoying. I know there's also a way to get into up there through to that office. It's definitely an area that is deceptively difficult to navigate.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, like you enter and you see the shuttle, and you can't really enter that many other rooms, so you feel it's just like
it's framed in a very specific way. Like it's framed so that you are kind of tricked into thinking you can go in there when you can't.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it sort of makes sense because anyone they bring on board, like the pianist,
yeah,
they will only get to see like the main bits that we enter through. But of course, you can't just have an entire like shuttle area with just fancy rooms. You need to have actual places where people can work and do maintenance, and that's all where we are right now. The sort of hidden away areas that they can't really see.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a bit like when we went to everyone's rooms, and you had a whole lot of, let's say, regular rooms, and then you had the big suites where Alex was.
Yeah.
And Morgan, and
the
then,
guests. And there was a
the
guest suite.
Exactly. They see all the pretty stuff and a lot of room, and then you know we had the bunk beds somewhere in the back, the pods
We're stuck in the launch
hidden
tube.
away.
The hatch on the outside is supposed to blow when the pod launch initiates, but
I knew someone was stuck in the launch tube somewhere.
could you help us out?
Yeah.
To EVA to get the hatch off from the outside. I know it's a lot to ask. I don't know what else to do. Sit here and starve, I guess.
Sorry, boy, you're probably gonna have to, because I don't feel like working with that right now.
But don't hit that until the outside hatch is off.
We're kind of busy.
Yeah. Bye. Alright, that's, Oh, I imagine you could also escape through here. It's a little... Just, like, if you have leverage, you can just open that. God, I hate turrets! I'm gonna die. That's okay, that was a pretty bad... That was a pretty bad run of that room anyway. So, let's try again with what we know now.
Hello? Is someone... I'm in the escape pod with Emanuela de Silva.
We're stuck in the launch tube. The hatch on the outside is supposed to blow when the pod launch initiates, but...
I like the fact that when you go into hacking, the subtitles just get all like distorted because you're focusing on something else, and Morgan's like barely paying attention at that point.
You know, she's only human. Wait.
Yeah.
You have too much Typhon. Well, at least you in your playthrough.
Let those operators have at it, because I need some breathing room. Oh, well... That's a miss. Alright, and...
Yeah, this place is definitely deceptively large.
Yeah,
this late in the
there's a
game.
lot here. I'm hoping, like, what I would ideally want to do is just hack the military operators so that they don't spawn in. I wonder if that's even possible.
I don't think so, but like I said, it's been a while. But this part is definitely the
this is
you are no longer in control part.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we, because you know Alex and you. I mean
Yeah.
both to use.
Alex and you. Yeah.
God, that last name, it's so perfect.
It is a beautifully perfect name. I wonder if there's a way to get up there. Probably. I just need to figure out what it would be.
Oh, there was a grav lift or whatever, but it wasn't powered up.
Yeah, let's hover down here a little bit. Here's a shortcut to Guts, which would be useful if I needed to go into Guts right now. There's probably a power room down here in the bottom.
Something like that, yeah.
Mechanics facilities. I think there's phantoms in that room. Good old-fashioned Typhon.
You really start to miss the Typhon once all the freaking operators start coming.
Yeah. You know what I could probably do is just like smash a window and come in this way.
Good old smash a window. Never fails.
And I'm gonna get my beautiful Margrave out. There. And that should take care of the worst of it.
Yeah, and I think it's this bathroom. If you were to go up, there's another false ceiling, and then you find a note there about someone trying to smuggle neuromods to their sick mom or something. And you find a neuromod stashed away. But yeah,
Oh.
there's
Interesting.
I can't remember if it's there. I think it is, but there's so much environmental storytelling in just that transcribes the notes and.
Alright, the grav shaft
that's
is now
so good.
active.
Ah, perfect.
Let's see what's here. Extinguish that fire. Medkits are nice. Medkits are always nice. Here's a fabricator. Whoever keeps making duplicate items, stop. That fabrication is not a toy. Materials not unlimited. That's pretty funny. I should build some more suit repair kits because I'm running a little low on these.
I mean, you could just imagine walking around the corner and some guy is building like bolts for the Huntress. And you're
Yeah,
like, dude,
I was about to say like a Nerf gun. Yeah. That's enough. That's enough to keep us going for a bit. And all else fails, break a fucking window. I actually kind of like that this glue gun here is exactly what it tells you. Like this, that's how I knew I could break the window. I was like, oh yeah, someone glued this up, which means this is probably broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you do have some like bulletproof / space-proof windows that you can't smash. So
Yeah. That grav shaft being repaired might be our ticket up.
that is like really nice that the game uses the glue gun as like tells for a lot of different stuff as well.
I'm getting sick of you. I'm just gonna hack you and get you to stop shooting at me. Alright. That's one less turret that's going to try to kill me. And now we can get up. Electrostatic shock. God, I love Typhon powers. I like that, because for most of the game, you don't really have an incentive to get too many of the electro powers, because, yeah, if you're facing mostly Typhon, but once you get to this stage, like, that starts, like, this is kind of like a check to see if you've been, like, if not getting those powers, at least accruing ways of dealing with corrupt phantoms, or corrupt operators. Because...
Yeah.
This is like, because that's what most of the enemies are in this section of the game. It's just operators that have been, like, that are assigned to kill you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those times in the game where you might just run to a fabricator to just make neural mods so you can get those skills. Or maybe bump up your disruptor gun if you haven't already.
Yeah. So again, this is entirely possible to play this game without any powers whatsoever. Even any of the neuromods. Like, you can play this game without ever, like, aside from the first neuromod, like, never taking powers.
Yep.
The game never assumes you have access to a certain skill or weapon.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure some stuff you'll be locked out of, but it'll mostly be just extra resources or something.
But the game is beatable. At bare minimum.
Yes.
Extends jetway. There we go.
Pretty sure that would be a category, a speedrun of this game. No powers.
I mean, it probably would be if the any percent wasn't half an hour.
Yeah. I guess it'll be no powers glitchless or no out of bounds stuff like that.
It would have the glitchless run, yeah, for sure.
Apparently this quote-unquote broken, but you don't notice it until you're actively looking for it, I feel.
Exactly. Obviously, Dahl is gone. He's not here.
Commander Dahl, this is William Yu. acting chairman of the TranStar Board of Directors.
I will need your credentials to authorize this mission.
Of course. My authentication sign is Zeta Invictus Emperor Tangerine.
Sign checks out. Good morning, Director Yu. Shuttle is hot and holding orbit. Awaiting mission parameters.
You must secure every piece of Cobalt clearance level technology and research aboard Talos 1. Then eliminate all TranStar personnel.
All personnel.
No survivors.
It's your show. And their funeral.
Payment will be deposited into 6 separate Benelux accounts. After you transmit evidence of success.
I leave my operator feeds on. Just keep watching.
We strongly advise deploying your technical officer to a station router inside the firewalls first. Ideal location would be the station exterior, near the power plant grids.
Yes, I've seen the schematics, Mr. Yu. Goodbye.
You will destroy this transmission after.
So obviously, his talk about saving the personnel was a lie, and I don't think anyone thought otherwise, so...
Yeah, he's definitely the type of character that if you were to meet him once, you'd know to just never trust him.
Yeah, also
I
it
feel-
looks like hacking the military operators does actually do the job, because it looks like the way the game is programmed, there's only so many military operators, period, that can be spawned in at once, so if they're all friendly, that just ends the problem.
Probably, yeah. 'Cause
That
I
is
mean,
actually really interesting. You can kind of circumvent the game by just making the operators all your allies.
It does make sense because spawning an indefinite amount.
Well, that would just be chaos. That would just be like an issue on performance.
Exactly.
But it is cool. Like you can think about it and circumvent the game's rules in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can only print so many operators per printer, so I'll just take them all. They're all my operators now, not yours. You don't get any. You don't deserve operators, piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit. Gotta
HR expense in the TranStar books.
gotta give you that.
It's true. I do solve people problems. Your workmates hiding in the cargo bay are going to suffocate in a few minutes. Maybe you can save them, but you'll have to come out of the walls, Rat. Life support. The clock is ticking.
So yeah.
Morgan, Dal's cut off oxygen to the cargo bay. There's nothing I can do from here, and none of the doors are responding. Atmosphere controls are in life support. If you can help, do it quick, or this is the last time we'll be talking.
So yeah, obviously Dahl is not like, since he doesn't care if they die anyway. He'll just use the people we saved in life support as hostages, or in cargo bay as hostages. So we have an ultimatum. We can either keep going with our objective and ignore the people in hub support, or we can acquiesce to Dahl's commands and try to save who we can before they die of suffocation. But if we do, as Dahl demands, obviously he'll know how to get to us, because we'll be right there.
Mm-hmm. It's basically just another trap.
Yeah.
But this time, you know, he's got some pretty heavy bait.
Although I think this is actually where turning off your bracelet comes in, because if your bracelet is on, you won't be able to ambush him. But if he can't track you with your bracelet, then you can you can surprise him, more or less, and catch him off guard. Because it is possible to catch him off guard, and I've done it a couple times. And I think that is where disabling the bracelet from earlier comes into play, is during this ultimatum right here. Though obviously if you don't go through with it, then that doesn't matter. This is the part of the game where a lot of your choices do actually end up making a material impact on your playthrough.
Yep. Yeah. They really press you for choices in this last part. Like, there's no time. You gotta think right now what you're gonna do.
Yeah. You have 15 minutes, so whatever you're gonna do, you gotta do quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is unlike the Igwe and the Illusion choices, where 2 hours is a long time to give you to make the choice for Michaela and Dr. Igwe. Like, it's 6 minutes, but the actual task takes maybe like 1 or 2 tops, and it's right there. So if, like, it's kind of like if you're not doing it, you're kind of just an asshole for no reason.
Yeah.
But this is one where, like, there is, like, 15 minutes is not a long time. Like, if you're going to do it, it's enough time where you have to consciously make the choice of whether or not you're going to stop it or not. Because 15 minutes is not a long time, but in the context of what we're doing now, it's plenty. It's more than enough to deal with whatever Dull is throwing at us. You pop a Psi-Hypo. I'm getting a lot of use out of my electrostatic shock power right now. I know you're seeing a lot of hacking all of a sudden, but, you know, it's worth it if hacking one friendly operator prevents another from spawning in.
Mm-hmm. It's either hacking minigames or a lot of charging the disruptor gun or using the power. Your choice. Hack or die.
So we hack, and in doing so, we basically take out Dull's really only tool to deal with us, because he's just a dude, ultimately. Okay, yeah, you can stop shooting your friendly now.
Yeah, he's just yeah. I want to say the guy behind the controls, but even then, they're AIs.
Yeah,
so
like,
he's not even controlling them.
Yeah, it's literally just he's just using computers to solve. Like, he is essentially just pressing the button. That is all he's actually doing, is pressing a button, and like, he's just callous enough where he doesn't care what happens after he presses the button. That's all. That's his only real like, I assume he was a hardened military veteran or of something, because that's just kind of the backstory that those characters usually have, but at the end of the day, he's just a dude.
What's the situation in Cargo Bay?
Hold it.
I do like that little thing where he's talking about, you know, my expenses are part of HR, I solve people problems. Because, you know,
you did it.
Getting that shuttle launched, getting him up there, getting the operators, I mean, the technology to hack all the operators and stuff, that, you know, it has to come from somewhere.
Alright, and now we have to figure out how... Oh, hold on a second. I got you. I got you. Don't worry, fam. I got you. You're gonna be fam in a second. Just need to give you an attitude adjustment, that's all. You call it hacking, I call it discipline. That's what I call it.
Forced friendship.
Now we can repair this air mixture regulator and put it in.
Morgan, the air's flowing again. I can breathe. And I hope this means Dal can't. Thank you. A little longer and... Never mind. Elazar out.
And more suit repair. Oh, a telepath. I'm gonna ignore you. Now, I was willing to listen to Dal talk to his AI, who is actually controlling the military operators, but unfortunately, my allies in his former forces were going to kill him if I did that, so I had to knock him out to do the Igwe quest.
Yeah.
And I believe, now that's out of the way, we can go and I think the tech operator, I think where he spawns is different for each run. Like it's a unique, like I've had runs where he's been in the place you go at the start of the game with where to repair Looking Glass servers, but I believe like it's variable. Like it is a thing that can be like any one of 3 places.
Yeah, I can't remember where he was on my run.
Because right now he's on the outside of the station, and I know for a fact that that's not where he always spawns. And we're just gonna go out the airlock or over here.
Dr. Yu, Dr. Igwe, we have the subject, Dal, and his life signs are stable. Thank you. We are prepping him in the Neuromod division now. Come as soon as you can.
And Igwe's got a plan to deal with Dal. And it's actually a pretty clever plan that, like, if you're paying attention... Oh, I went to the wrong place. That if you've been paying attention to what neuromods do, actually, like, it's something that you could probably guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like any good TranStar soldier, Dal takes neuromods before starting a new operation. Doesn't actually matter what he uses them for. In fact, he might not even like need any of the skills he gets from them at all. But he does that so that when he's finished the operation, he can uninstall the neuromods and have no memory of what he did during the operation. And that's not because he has any morality or like to make him like avoid feeling bad about it, because he's kind of like a piece of shit. He doesn't care what he's doing. But what it does is it protects TranStar secrets.
Yes, I was just about to say the same thing. Like, this isn't for him, this is for the company.
Yeah. So the tech officer is way down here. So we're gonna make a bit of a trek. And just gently avoid the operators here, because there's really not a whole lot of threats down here anymore, thanks to the military operators taking care of most of Typhon for us at the moment. But let me get my disruptor gun out, because here you are. Here you are, my beauty. I'm gonna need you in a second. Now I gotta figure out how to get to where he is. Oh, I might not even have to worry about that. Looks like he's just inside a hull breach.
Commander Dahl. Casper, Morgan Yu sighted. I repeat, Morgan Yu sighted. Commander Dahl, do you...
I'm going to hack Casper. And that should automatically cause military operators to cease. Like, if I take care of the second in command, that kind of takes care of the rest of the forces at this point. If I am right.
Could be, yeah.
Doors are working again, Morgan. Nice work. I'm taking what's left of my crew to the atmosphere controls in life support. We're going to clear out Dal's shitcan operators and make sure there are no more mishaps with the air on this station.
Al populated his entire crew with customized operators. He made the mistake of hanging his hopes on a machine. Flesh and blood is messy, Morgan, but it's the only thing that matters in the end. Well done. Your blow just kicked in. You mean the operator. We have important work to do.
That's an interesting little moral proverb from Alex. Dal put everything he had into machines that, once they broke down, he had nothing, no fallbacks. Which we talked about already. Because he's just, at the end of the day, one guy who's pressing a button. And because of that, like, once you take care of all of his machines, he himself kind of falls fairly easily. Because he has nothing to really fall back on at that point. And now that we've taken care of those machines and taken care of him, we're back to where we were before he showed up. Transtar had, like, the Transtar people that were supposed to, like, that hired him to take care of us have essentially failed. Morgan and Alex's parents did not get the result they wanted. But we might be able to still. Is this hatch even open? Why is it in my HUD? I can't even open it.
Did we not open it from the other side?
I don't know what hatch that actually is.
Neither do I. But yeah, in case people didn't see it before, all the ways outside, you have to open them up first from the inside in order to get in or get out.
Or to explore deep space.
So you can't just go outside and then, like, sequence break your way into other parts.
Yeah, that's just the game's way of making sure you don't break progression.
Yep. And it probably makes sense from, like, a quote-unquote real-world perspective.
Yeah.
To not have all your outside hatches open at all times.
Pretty much. Oh no, the operators found me. Whatever will I do? Except ignore
Smack
them
into the hatch.
And keep going. And now that Alazar is safe, she and her team are going to sweep the station and make sure all the other military operators are gone, which means they're probably going to be like they're at this point like almost a null threat. Whew. And now we can talk to Alex.
Yeah, so far we've only really seen him in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the opening sequence, so...
Here he is, in the flesh.
I promised you my arming cape. All I ask is you hear me out first. And you can blow Talos 1 to pieces if that's what you think is best. I don't think you'll do it. I know. Because I used to think we couldn't be trusted to play with fire without burning the house down. But you convinced me.
You showed me anything was possible, even if the price was steep. That part of you is still in there. We can make history, Morgan. Not those leeches on the TranStar board of directors, not Mom and Dad. You and I. Just like we planned. We've got the data to confirm what you suspected. Carl is broadcasting a neural signal. A secret message reaching to the stars. What I want to know is what is the message? And who is listening to it? I think you know. Ever since we first tested the Typhon neuromods, you've known. This fabrication plan is for the null-wave device prototype you conceived. It will hijack the Carl signal and use it to deliver a massive shock to every Typhon organism at once. Take it. And the army key, like I What? Morgan!
And here we are. I think we're in the endgame now.
Yep.
The Typhon have arrived in full force. As far as we know. We probably know it's only a fraction of what they can do. So, obviously, Alex, you can just get the arm key off his body, but to save him and make sure he doesn't die, you can lock him in his escape, his hatch, which has, like, despite not having gravity, has oxygen in it. So we can survive in here.
Yep.
Which is the flashlight button? Yeah, here it is. And yeah, there's obviously nothing here for him to survive, even though he's knocked out. Oh, that's cool. He has a cherished family photo in his inventory. And I also have his arming key now.
So now we can blow it all up if we want.
Yeah. We're gonna have to use the arming key regardless of what we do, I think. Like, I mean, that's just part of, But Alex is obviously safe now.
Morgan, we're in life support now. It's all clear. Air's normal across the board. I lost some good people fighting the black boxes. And Dahl wasn't here. If you see him before I do, make him pay. Elazar out.
Morgan, thank you for what you did. You could have left me to die. It's more important than ever now that we finish this the right way. Take care of the null-wave device. I'll head for the bridge as soon as I catch my breath.
That creature is still trying to consume the station, and I've picked up multiple hull breaches. I believe in you, Morgan. Make this count.
Alright, and since we're already by the crew quarters at this point, I think the least we can do is honor Miss Show. Oh, I think the crew quarters are done. Huh. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, I don't know if we're getting in there at this point. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they sealed the crew quarters at this point in the game. Gnarly.
Is there another way into the crew quarters?
I don't believe there is.
Yeah, I also don't think there is.
That's pretty rad, though.
Did the quest fail?
No. But I don't think we can succeed it either.
Hmm, interesting.
And we had to go down either way, so we might as well... Oh yeah, oh no! The First and Fail is just gone.
Oh.
I guess that means we didn't do the Chief Ilyushin quest, which is kind of a shame, because it's actually a pretty good quest line. If you don't mind staying up half an hour late, we could probably finish this tonight.
There shouldn't be a problem, I think. And there's still 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Before any overtime, so...
Taking care of all the last military operators. I think once we enter the lobby area, we will be able to walk again. I am really bummed that we didn't do the Michaela quest. It's a really interesting quest because you get to I guess I'll just explain it since we're not going to be able to do it. What is that Michaela asks you to find information?
Morgan, you anticipated the kind of appeal Alex would make. Sibling bonds, history. You programmed me to refute him point by point. However, we can skip that. A Typhon the size of a skyscraper is currently eating Talos 1 for lunch. Ergo, Alex is wrong. Destroy the station, just as you planned. The blast will take the monster down with it.
Destroy the station? But didn't you hear him? The null way. Alex is correct. It could work and preserve what we have learned here. We have to try.
Igwe, look at the alien outside the station.
Of course it's a risk, but we've seen the generator work. To destroy all this, to murder a species, and the research lost. It's...
January's right, Morgan. We can't let these things get back to Earth, even if one of them hit Earthside.
Morgan, please. Destroying the station should be the last option, not the first.
Actually, let's do Igwe's quest while we're... Let's go back to the lobby and we'll do Igwe's quest first. But, Michaela's quest line is, she wants to know information about her father, and where he is and where he disappeared to. And the information's in deep storage. So you go in there, and what you discover is that not only was Morgan aware of what happened to Michaela's father, they actually approved it. And so you have a choice of whether or not you give this information to Michaela or not, because obviously, like, Morgan's voice approving the termination of Michaela's father is not a great piece of evidence to have in favor of supporting Team Morgan. But you can choose to give it to her or not, and if you do, she eventually, if not forgives you, forgives your current incarnation, or the current incarnation of Morgan, because obviously, like...
The idea hasn't occurred to you. I'm sure it will eventually. Don't do it. I can't predict what would happen if you scan the Apex.
Yeah.
But all my models point to suffering.
But she forgives you under the logic of the Morgan that gave her that data is not the same Morgan that terminated her father, which is not entirely incorrect, but not entirely, like, accurate either.
Yeah, it's undefined.
Oh. You gotta platform up this a little more carefully. Now we're here to talk to Igwe. Hello, Doctor.
Dr. Yu.
I don't think we
Morgan.
went through volunteer
I was afraid you
testing
wouldn't make it.
this area yet.
The subject, Dahl, has been secured. I believe I've isolated the correct neuromod. It is essential we say as little as possible of what has happened on the station and focus on the situation. Dahl, if memory serves, should resort to field training and react accordingly. He was never one to question orders. Ready when you are, Morgan. Remember, if this works, say nothing.
Surgical harness.
When extracted, Dahl's memory should revert back to the inception date, and he should forget his assignment here.
Form neural scan.
Dr. Yu. Morgan.
Performing neuroptomy.
That looks freaking brutal.
Yeah.
What? Who are you? Morgan? Your father's been asking about you. And Alex. I was supposed to report to him about her retrieval after modding up. Where am I? Why am I restrained?
Commander. Dahl. I am Dr. Igwe, Chief Physician here.
I've seen your face in the company directory. Alex's pet. The discredited parapsychologist.
Commander Dahl, you've suffered a severe head injury as a result of a crisis here on the station. We need to evacuate at once, but we couldn't leave without you. Are you able to pilot a shuttle?
What? Yes, of course I can pilot. Wait, what emergency? Is this Argus installation? Where's Casper?
I'm afraid there's no time to explain. We need to get to the shuttle bay and prepare for departure. TranStar mandate. Dr. Yu can confirm.
Of course. Morgan, you look like shit. All right, let's get Daddy's precious child off the station. TranStar will blackbox me.
Perfect.
Just need to check your vitals. Wouldn't want our pilot to faint.
There's nothing wrong with me.
And now we have secured an escape route for everyone on the station, because without knowing what he was here for, Dahl will just pilot all the volunteers, or all of our employees, off the base station.
It's by design that I can predict what you're going to do fairly often. And yet, this turn of events with Dahl, I'm impressed and surprised you've managed to find a way to get remaining crew off the station. I have no doubt they'll remember your sacrifice.
And we might have had a shuttle, but no one here would know how to
pilot it. Yeah, 'cause there's,
yes.
And I don't know if they can neuromod themselves up to pilot it, because I don't know if that data exists in the neuromod database.
Yeah, it's the same thing where they could have maybe taken that skill from him, but if you have him there anyway,
just
you
make
might
him
as
do
well
it.
just...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it would just be cruel to just extract that data and then like kill him or leave him here.
Yeah. But that means that the security officers that we rescued, Michaela, Igwe, they can all make it out. Regardless of what happens from here on out, they will survive the incident here at Talos 1. As long as we don't kill them, I suppose, but like, just fucking asshole if you do that.
I mean, you know, January, you know, she mentions it when you're like saving them. Like, why are you saving them? You're just gonna blow up the station anyway.
Yeah.
So even if you save them or do whatever it is to make sure they don't die at that moment, if they don't have a way to leave the station, then
that's all
that
for
might as well
naught.
be dead.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
all. It's all pointless. Oh, why am I switching to that power? My electrostatic burst. Wow, there's still hacked military operators here.
Visual contact. Echo bound. Echo bound.
Life support air quality ratio below standard operating level. Atmospheric containment flush recommended.
Telepath. Poltergeist. Man, the Typhon are coming out in full force now that Dahl's been taken care of.
Well, Doll's been taken care of, and some kind of portal.
Yeah, trans-dimensional
and-
thingy.
Yep.
Oh boy. And a Weaver, which we will ignore. Because our job right now is to put the arming keys in the reactor. Because either way, null wave or explosion, we need to do this to get for whatever we're doing to work. We're like 2 objectives away from finishing this game, aren't we? I think it's just this and then making your final choice.
Yeah. This will
Level of explosive gas detected.
be the
Warning,
last
please
brain
evacuate.
stream.
Level of
I guess.
explosive gas detected or sparks
Please
until repairs
evacuate
can be
and
made. Avoid all open flames or sparks until.
Oh yeah,
In
this
case,
place is still gassed up. You never cleared out the gas here.
Warning. Dangerous
Right.
level of explosive gas detected. Please.
And in case anyone hasn't figured it out yet, this game is highly recommended by both of us.
Yeah, it's such a good game. There's so many different things. Like, it's a game where, like, you're rewarded for just understanding the tools at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
And going down. Feather
And then
the,
it's one of the...
feather the... Oh. And here we go. Feather the gas, and you get a nice steady descent down without taking any fall damage.
Yep. And this is one of those, I want to say almost rare kind of games where if you love story, this is for you, but also if you like gameplay, this is for you.
Yeah.
It really has both. Instead of just, being good in one and being okay in the other.
It's not just for you, it's for more than you. Morgan you.
Yes.
Good work. The reactor's primed and capable of delivering close to 30 megatons. More than enough. I'll meet you on the bridge for the last part. Hurry, Morgan. There won't be anything left to detonate if we're too late.
And now we need to make our way back up and make our final choice. Do we destroy the space station or use the null wave?
Don't we have to do something else before we can use the null wave?
I don't think so, actually. Although I think Alex and Jamie are going to try to kill each other. Because Alex is alive, which means that he's going to fight January over our pressing the button. That's a good moment, actually. We're about to see it. I love this shotgun. We're almost back on, we're almost back to the top of this shaft. There's probably a way to turn those grav shafts back on, but I've never actually bothered to look for it.
Yeah, I think I managed to do that on my playthrough. Since, no super jump.
Yeah. Although you could probably use the glue gun in that case. Switching to wrench because we can't blow anything up.
Please evacuate.
Yeah, definitely
and
also
avoid
an option.
all open flames or sparks until repairs can be made. Warning. Dangerous level of explosive gas detected.
Flames or
Please
sparks.
evacuate and avoid all open
But you said
flames
nothing
or
about
sparks until
adhesive.
repairs can be made.
I love that you can glue gun up yourself a little stairway.
Warning. Dangerous level of explosive gas detected.
I think
Warning,
I screwed up.
Dangerous level of explosive
Try
gas detected.
this
Please
instead.
evacuate and avoid all open flames or sparks until repairs can be made. Warning, dangerous level of explosive gas detected.
Oh, that
Warning,
AI is starting to
dangerous
annoy me.
level of explosive gas detected. Please evacuate and avoid all open flames or sparks
All
until
right.
repairs dangerous can be made. Level of explosive gas detected. Please evacuate.
Goodbye.
and
Jesus
avoid
Christ.
all
Goodbye. Whew. Now I think we are nearly done the game at this point. Although, let me ask the question: if you were like in real life, this was your situation, you had to make the choice. What would you choose, the null wave or blowing it up?
Me?
Yeah.
I would probably go null wave. Which is... But it isn't... That choice isn't like an... Oh yeah, easy, 100%, definitely. It's more like... but... Yes.
I have thought about it a lot, and I think I would probably be on team blow it up.
Which I get.
Like, it's the question of what risk are you okay with, and I don't know if I'm okay with risking all of Talos 1, like, all of this over superpowers. Like, I think I'm okay with the superpowerless world if it means that we are not under threat of the Typhon, for sure. Of course, the for sure part is also debatable.
The thing here is, and I don't know if you can remember this as well, the null wave, does it kill all the Typhon around here, or what does it do exactly?
I don't think that was ever made clear. I need to build the prototype null wave device at some point. So let's go to the lobby and just visit our office to actually build the prototype.
Yeah, and I think we have to place it in a very specific place, and that was what I was thinking of.
Oh, we might as well do that since
don't forget that TranStar safety
we haven't really made our
call
choice
for a
yet.
weekly inspection of your uniform.
Yeah,
Report
I
to the
think you can
hardware
literally
lab
just
for a
put the arming
diagnostic.
keys in, or build the null wave, put it in its place, and then...
Oh, you're
you
probably
still
gonna
have
go
to
down,
A or
aren't we?
B.
We're gonna have to go back down to insert the null wave, aren't we?
You have to go through, if I can remember, Psychotronics to install the null wave.
Okay. Let's see. Let's protowave.
But to me, I would also be like, they've done a whole bunch of research here, especially on how the brain works. And even if the null wave would destroy Typhon in a way that we can never recreate neuromods, I feel like whatever they did research could still be used to help neurological diseases, etc.
Fair.
But like you said, we don't know what the null wave does.
Yeah. In theory, it's supposed to neutralize the Typhon while leaving the research on the station, but...
Yeah, what does neutralize mean? If it just knocks them out cold, then
there's still a
the
threat.
Typhon threat, yeah, it isn't gone. And that's why I know you would go with blow it up, because then you're sure the threat is gone, as far as we know.
Yeah, because... by necessity, the neuromods, like, for the neuromods to exist, the Typhon also must exist. By necessity.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have to. Because
100%.
otherwise you cannot create neuromods without killing people to feed to them.
That is also like the second part of that. Even if you could 100% keep the Typhon contained, you're still going to have to basically sacrifice humans to get neuromods.
And I don't know if I could live with myself if I could stop that and chose not to.
Yeah, like if I were to null wave the place, I wouldn't go through with the research.
Because that's the point of the
Like-
null wave, is to preserve the research here in the space station. But if you consider the research to be like fundamentally corrupt and dangerous because of the amount of human lives you have to sacrifice in order to even make a single neuromod, that's something I personally think I could allow to happen.
Like I see it more as we preserve everything we have now, but I would just, if the null wave killed all the Typhon, I would prefer that. Like, we can't advance it anymore, we can't make any more, but we'll just use whatever we figured out so far to improve what we can in like human life. Even if, you know, there's a chance that shit can still go very, very wrong, because, you know, neuromods.
Yeah, like I don't think that's a difficult choice or an easy choice, I should say. I think there's a lot to think about there, but I think ultimately I would make the safer choice to just blow it all to hell.
Totally get that.
Now to get into the heart of the coral.
Requesting new operator.
Yep, that part I remember going in there.
N-CN9 black box operator ready to deploy. Please stand clear of aperture.
What is the military operators doing here? Alright.
He's
Goodbye.
just chilling. Don't worry.
Morgan, I don't know if you've seen, but there is alien matter ripping through the hull. You have to move. Gosh, my every window in this station, it's engulfing the place. It's everywhere.
Glue gun. There we go. So many cystoids. All right. The heart of the coral.
The Russian space station that Talos 1 was built around. Space station, spacecraft.
That should do it. Come to the bridge. We can finish this thing once and for all.
Assume Alex's plan succeeds. Then what? You're taking a massive gamble that there aren't more predators like the Typhon. In the history of the universe, humans have only recently become self-aware. Yet you're going to kick the door open on a much wider and older cosmic ecology. One that feeds on consciousness. These are shark-infested waters. Alex believes we can be the bigger shark, but what if we're just poor swimmers? And now there's blood in the water.
Interesting analogy that January makes, and not entirely an incorrect one, although I don't think that's worth even considering whether or not that can be the case. It's just there's just too many unknowns.
Yeah.
She's making a good point where there is a potentially like stronger predator than Typhon out there that we haven't even seen yet, but you can't make a choice based on things you don't know. You can really make the best choice you can with what you know at the time you make it. And if you're wrong at that point, there's nothing you really could have done about it in the first place.
Yeah, like the questions definitely go both way. If you blow it up, nothing would stop the Typhon from somewhere finding their way back, because they ended up here in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that would solve anything.
If
But at the
anything,
same
like you could argue,
time-
well, it just delays the inevitable. It just delays something that will happen at some point in the future.
Yes, and at the same time, it's you know, if we pacify all the Typhon here and continue the research, there's no saying there's not a bigger Typhon out there that'll just eventually
Yeah.
make its way here. Like that.
Because
There's
I said the
too many
Typhon are out
unknowns.
here in full force. We don't know if that's true.
Yep, this is just the biggest one we've seen that's sort of engulfing the station, but what else is there?
Yeah, we don't actually know if there is a bigger Typhon, let alone like a Typhon Eater or something that's out there. We can only guess. And that makes the choice ultimately that makes the choice like you're operating on information that you effectively don't and cannot have. Making a educated guess based on what you think might be the most logical outcomes.
Yeah, because everything we know about the Typhon happened on this station. Like that, nothing of it is even peer-reviewed. The neuromods, they might as well stop working after a year. We don't know.
Yeah. And there's so much that we don't know that it's difficult to really quantify anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the final area. This is the Talos 1 bridge. This is where the game comes to an end. I'm going to do a quick save in case we decide to change our mind with whatever choice we make. Yeah, you're speaking out of ignorance in the chat about the decision, but I think everyone, even people in character, are talking about this choice in ignorance.
Morgan, Igwe, what's
I mean,
the update on our
it's a very basic instinct to be like, we don't know anything about it, destroy it. Like, fear of the unknown is
Fine, Morgan, I'll
very
meet you at the
basic
shuttle bay.
and
yeah,
in a way normal. Like, it makes sense. Oh yeah, we didn't come here sooner, so we never got the other quest as well.
Yeah.
With the space shuttle. Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly sort of spoil it a little bit. If you come here sooner, you'll find out that not too long before shit went down in the station, a shuttle left. And because mimics can change into anything, there isn't a guarantee that there wasn't a mimic on board
I
heading
see a
for
person
Earth.
who looks like
And then a timer starts,
Morgan,
and you have like 15 minutes
brother
to
is
decide
unstable.
whether you're going to
He may not permit you to
remotely blow
activate
it
the
up or not,
self-destruct.
killing
Also,
everyone
he's
on
armed.
board.
Unstable?
While not being sure if
Is
there
that a
was even a
joke,
Typhon or so on
operator?
board. So that,
You've
yeah,
let
that's a
this
really
machine
interesting
poison
quest.
you. Did it tell you it's not gonna let you off the station?
Your brother is correct. When you destroy Talos 1, my directive is to ensure that you perish along with it. But you already knew that. It was your idea.
No one in their right mind would agree to such a lunatic plan.
Not true. History is populated with examples of self-sacrifice for the benefit of others.
Easy to say when it's not your skin, robot.
I'm sorry, Morgan.
I like this fight.
You have no idea what that word means. I'm gonna put a stop to this nonsense. I would never harm you, Morgan. You made the right choice. The terminal's linked up again.
Goodbye,
It should
January.
only take a few seconds for a signal to propagate through the Coral and lobotomize every Typhon on Talos 1, including the big one outside. The rest of us should get away with a mild headache. I'll let you do the honors, but you better hurry.
Reactor detonation imminent.
I wish there was something I could have said to snap you out of this. Fugue. It's my fault. I gambled too much. And the worst part? It isn't losing the station or the tech. It's you. I lost my sister. That is a mistake I will never recover from.
All right. So we didn't let January kill Alex, but we also
Talos 1.
we are not going to we are going to choose the blow up
Shuttle
station.
is ready to go, Morgan. I'll wait a few minutes before detonation, but then I'm gone.
Boom, boom.
You're on your own after that.
And we At this point, you're supposed to race to get to the shuttle and have Dahl pick you up with the others. But I've never actually done that. Like, I might say this so I can see how that goes. I imagine it's not that different from what I'm doing right now. Because, as you remember, thanks to December and in its efforts, we have a key to Alex's escape shuttle.
Warning, reactor detonation imminent. Please evacuate Talos 1.
And that shuttle is very much a valid escape route. And if you do it earlier, as you saw, we get that non-standard game over. We failed, bring in the next subject. But if you do it at this point in the game, it just counts as an ending. Because you're supposed to escape anyway. There is no, like, you're quitting. This is you, like, finishing out what you're supposed to do.
We made the choice.
Yeah. So at this point, we can actually use this as a escape plan, like irrespective of what we do with Dahl. Like there's in theory a game where you let everyone on the station except for you die. There's a hypothetical in which you didn't get Dahl to bring everyone out, and you're the only one that makes it out of the station alive. No, everyone else is dead. From understanding, the humans were used as text. I can see that logic in the chat, of you save the station because otherwise all the deaths that were done in pursuit of the Armada would be in vain. I can see that logic. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. Because I would argue that the research was inherently not worth preserving because it the very essence of what Neuromod is requires humans to die in order for it to be created, or something to die, because the Typhon don't they need to feed off something. I also like this credit sequence where you watch as the Typhons start to slowly creep in on the crew quarters.
Yeah, it's quote unquote fun credit screen.
Now that the Typhon are loose, how immediately that changed everything. And now it's time to beat the mind game. But do you have any, before we get to the grand finale, do you have any final thoughts, Matthias, while we're watching the credits roll?
Definitely get the game, play it yourself.
I agree with that. Especially if you can get the Moon Crash DLC. I don't know if we'll ever actually play it on stream, but it is a phenomenal DLC content for this game.
Mm-hmm. The genre is, I mean, it's a weird way of describing it, because you can say it's a different genre, but you're still playing the same game.
Yeah.
It's weird, but the genre is less interesting for me in a certain way. But I really, really like the concept. It's...
Yeah.
They took this IP and did everything right with it, I feel. In such a way, because I know someone in the chat was talking about a sequel. I don't want a sequel, because I don't want it to, muddy the waters.
Yeah.
The game is perfect the way it is. Leave it like this.
I would like them to explore the the gameplay ideas here in maybe a new world. Or in a time where it's so far removed from this that you're essentially doing a whole new setting.
Right.
But I do think this story stands on its own, and similar to how Last of Us, I still think The Last of Us 2 was a mistake. probably like probably standalone zone. It doesn't really need a follow up, even though it really does kind of like the finale really does make like set the stage for a sequel. But I don't know where you would go with the premise they end on, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the finale we're about to see. I wonder if I should skip this. Yeah, we're just gonna skip the credits. We saw the cool part of it. Now entering that's cool, a hidden location. Now entering a hidden location. This is where the mind games truly kick off. At the very end of the game.
Definitely.
It's finished. How did it do?
Activation of the mirror neurons is promising. Empathy quotient shows to be exceptionally high.
It probably thinks it was dreaming. That nothing mattered.
You're assuming it thinks like us.
Its life depends on it. Ours too. It all comes down to the choices it made.
It saved me from the cargo container. I would have suffocated otherwise, and later it recovered the Leitner connectomes. They were of no practical use, except that they were deeply meaningful to me. It installed multiple Typhon-based neuromods. It could mean an instinctive return to its own kind, or an attempt to integrate its dual natures. But its most surprising act was sparing Da. While perhaps for purely selfish reasons, this, at least in principle, enabled others to escape Talos 1.
Michaela.
I would have died without my medication. That wasn't easy. That says a lot, I think, about its heart. Can I say that it has a heart? Then, there was the man in Psychotronics, Ingram. It let him go. Was that mercy?
Would you let it live?
Yes.
Sarah, you're next.
The situation in the cargo bay was bad. None of us would have survived without its help. And it destroyed a large number of Typhon across the station. That has to be a good sign. Further, it thwarted Dar's attempt to use us as hostages. If it were one of my officers, I would give it a commendation.
Danielle, what do you say?
It found me. It didn't need to, but it did. I asked it to stop Volunteer 37, but it left him alive. It could mean a low drive for retribution. There were a lot of humans controlled by the Typhon that it could have harmed. Seems like it went out of its way to avoid that. I think it's worth the risk.
In the end, it chose to destroy Talos 1. Why? To protect her? We can't really know what its motives were for anything it did.
But we have to make a choice. You can hear us, can't you? Here. I want to show you something. What you experienced was a reconstruction based on Morgan's memories. This is the world today. We spent years trying to put what you can do into us. We never tried putting what we can do into you. Until now. You're the bridge between our species. I need to know if you see us. I mean, really see us. Take my hand if you do.
So, I don't know if we should talk about this after I make my choice, or if you want to talk about it now.
Your choice.
So let's take Alex's hand.
We're gonna shake things up, like old times.
So, essentially, what that means is that everything that we did was a simulation. We were not actually in Talos 1 at all. We were in a VR simulation the entire time.
Looking Glass is amazing.
Yes. And what Because all of this is set up before we get to this point, because we already established early on that the Typhon, they aren't maliciously killing humans. They just don't have mirror neurons, so they can't see people. They literally don't know what it's like to be a human. As far as they're concerned, humans are just like the thing they get food from, and that's all they are. So, regardless of what happened in the original Talos 1, what we know is that it led to Typhon arriving on Earth and doing that to Earth. So that means the Talos 1 employees, and it's not really clear if those are just AIs that Alex created, or if those are like the actual people kind of like Skype calling in.
I like to think they are the connect rooms, like they scanned their head and he just put that inside of the bots.
Kind of like January?
Like January and December, yeah, they're snapshots, I think, but they never explained, so.
It's vague in a way that's intentional. But regardless of what they are, they're basically in charge of working the simulation to more or less attempt to teach human empathy to a Typhon. Or to imbue a Typhon with the power of human empathy. Like how we imbued Morgan in our run with a bunch of Typhon powers. And the way that works in terms of the game is... And I think this is a really cool because it kind of shows how desperate they are to get this complete. If you do one nice thing, that's all it takes is for us to do a single nice thing. They will attempt to contact. Like if you free Igwe, or help Michaela, or help Alazar, or leave Dal alive to evacuate. Any one of those things. Not all of them, just one. Then you are worth sparing.
Because a Typhon would never do even a single thing like that.
Yes. And that shows that, like, A, they're kind of desperate, and B, even, like, a single good thing is something that is enough to kind of work off of. But if you do none of that, Alex will just terminate you flat out and say you're defective and go on to another Typhon to experiment on. And so the choice there is, did it work, or do you have empathy for these AI constructions? Because eventually, we're still, like, at the end of the day, playing a video game. Do you as the player have empathy, or do you not, for these people? And obviously, I made the choice. Yes, I do have empathy. Yes, we are going to, like, work with Alex, and then something's going to happen off screen. But that twist, it really reframes every single aspect of the game from start to finish, including the intro. And I think that's such a really, really fascinating explanation for a lot of things, like why mirrors don't work in Talos 1, because you're a Typhon, you cannot, like, you don't have that capability of recognizing yourself in the mirror. It explains why Morgan can't speak during the game, because you're not Morgan, you're a Typhon impersonating Morgan you. Like, all of these things, it goes back and retroactively makes a lot of things that didn't make sense at the time make sense. And it's really, really clever. It's a really clever way of framing what you're doing over the course of the game.
Mm-hmm. And even if you thought the intro wasn't already as good as it is, that is just foreshadowing for this.
Yeah.
Nothing is real. Not the intro, not everything we just did.
You cannot trust your senses. And that's why, like, when you escape, that's why that experiment's a failure, because like that experiment has kind of ingrained apathy into the Typhon. That's not what, and regardless of whether it's empathetic or not, that's not what you need right now. You don't need apathy. You need someone who's willing to do something. And like that's also like all of those flashes that we were getting. They weren't like flashbacks or alien influence. They were just like your mind trying to defend itself against Alex, and like what he's been trying to ingrain into you. Like it's so good. This game is so good.
And even now, you don't even know what happened to the real Morgan Yu.
Yeah, like the ultimate fate of Morgan Yu is a complete unknown. Like, we don't even know if Morgan Yu is still alive. They might have perished in Talos 1 for all we know, on the actual Talos 1 incident.
Mm-hmm. Good farewell be.
But as of now, we have completed our time with Arcane Studios' Prey. Before we wrap up, anything else you wanted to add, Matthias?
I think we said the most important. Buy this game; it's really good.
Yeah.
For so many reasons, and I'm pretty sure we've been saying that enough over the past couple episodes.
I mean, this is the third time I played this game, and I will probably play it again at some point in the future, because it's a game that I can come back to and just enjoy my time with it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think over the past couple episodes we dissected it pretty well. So yeah, I think everything's sort of been said, at least from my point.
Next week, I will bring my friend Chris in for a new Let's Play, where we will stream. We will be going through Crash Team Racing, the remake, which is a hell of a pivot from Cray. Holy shit!
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But I'm all here for that tonal whiplash. And until next time, take care, guys, and I will see you when I see ya. Bye!
Goodbye.